So a lot of you might remember this, and in fact, some of you might have even played this game, but back in the early 2000s, there was a very big MMORPG called City of Heroes. It launched in 2004, and it ceased its service in 2012, meaning that it was live for 8 years. Now, this was, of course, back in the early 2000s when MMORPGs were just taking off and they were going very mainstream. This is, of course, back in the days of Wizard 101, Club Penguin, RuneScape in its golden years, World of Warcraft in its golden years, and so many more very good MMORPGs. And City of Heroes was among them. I remember this game being very popular. And of course, now that this is in the news, I can't help but think, I feel like I saw an advertisement for it like all the time watching Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. And of course, I can't confirm that now, that those channels ran ads for this game. But I definitely remember seeing this ad on some channel that I watched as a kid over and over. And the game looked amazing. Yeah, it was literally just a game where, I mean, it was a City of Heroes. You basically chose your hero, you kind of created your own superpowers, and you did what heroes do, you know? Go on quests, you save people, all that fun stuff. So my point being, it was a very well-received game, especially for the early 2000s. It was a very fond memory in a lot of people's minds of what made a great MMORPG back in the early 2000s. So much so that about 5 years ago in 2019, about 7 years after this game being done and over with, the source code of this game was made available, and I can't find if it was leaked or if it was just actually made available by the developer NCSoft, but regardless, it was made available, and as a result, this led to a private server named Homecoming being made from fans of the game to relive the golden days, basically, of this MMORPG that had since shut down. So this fan server has been going on for about 5 years now, and it's worth mentioning that NCSoft, you know, they have moved on to other projects, other things, and with stuff like this, you know, fan games, fan projects, as I've covered in a lot of other videos, it's not uncommon for the developer to basically take legal action to get it shut down. And a lot of people definitely thought that this was going to be the inevitable fate of the Homecoming server of City of Heroes. But yesterday, January 4th, in a surprising turn of events, the developers of the Homecoming server announced that NCSoft themselves had actually provided them an official license to maintain the City of Heroes Homecoming fan server. I gotta tell you, this is very big. This is kind of the first time I have ever seen something like this take place. I mean, it'd be very easy for the developer to kind of get greedy and want it taken down, maybe sue them, you know, get some money as well. But NCSoft basically gave them their blessing. I gotta say, my hat's off to them. Also, something very cool, this game apparently is continuing to develop new content, and also the game is actually free, and it's just funded solely by donations. Now, one kind of sort of downside to this, maybe not a downside, just kind of a disclaimer, is that despite NCSoft's approval, looks like they do retain the right to request the private server's shutdown really at any point in time. Now, with their generous offer of a license, it at least doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. So if you remember this game as a kid, if you want to relive the golden days, looks like you can play this game for free, and it has been available, I guess, for 5 years now. But now, in a surprising turn of events, it looks like the fate of this server is safe and sound thanks to the blessing of its old developer, NCSoft.